Yeah, you wanna? Okay, I would like to call to order the Village of Lansing Planning Board meeting for Tuesday, January 30th at 7:01 PM. Oh, oof, man. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from January 8th, 2024. Folks did get a chance to look at them and make comments. Any other edits anybody wanted to make? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the January 8th minutes. Motion by Pat, second by Lisa, all in favor?
Aye.
Keep looking online, like thinking there's somebody there. Next item on the agenda is the public comment period. It's a chance for anyone in the public to bring up anything they want to that's not already on the agenda for this evening.
Carla would be on deck.
If you want to let Susan go first.
Oh,
My turn. Susan Ainsley, liaison to the Board of Trustees.
I'm Carla Marceau. I'm here as an observer for the community party.
Hey, Susan, hey, Carla. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment period.
I'll move to close the public comment period.
Motion by Jim,
second.
second by Lorraine, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is discussion of the solar array draft law. Okay. So everyone has in front of them a copy. I think you printed this off.
Printed out from your
Okay.
11th
Okay.
email.
I know I got a couple just minor tweaks from Jim, like some periods and hyphens, nothing that changes anything structurally, or not, yeah, I meant from Pat, not Jim. I think I looked right at you and said Jim, sorry. Okay.
Called worse.
I'll call you Pat next, and it'll all be.
Okay.
And Lisa, I think you said you had some really just minor.
I thought that I had, but maybe it was last time, I'm confusing it.
If you want to, you can give it to me and I'll at least double check, because I know the notes you had were on the one marked the 8th. So
Right.
I might have already made them when I sent it out the 11th.
I think the only thing that I said was in the appendix, whatever
Oh,
we
yes.
call this permit, our permit application, I would like it to be referred to as the same thing, so that people know exactly, did this
Yeah,
chart
on the
thing.
chart.
So on the thing that Pat worked on, it's called the Village of Lansing Solar Permit. And in here we have Village Solar Permit in the appendix, so we can change it to the Village of Lansing Solar Permit if you want. I know.
It's really the,
I know.
well, okay, so, I know. So we call this the Village of Lansing Solar Permit, and then we say permit application and requirements. It seems a little redundant. I would think we should call it the Village of Lansing Solar Permit, because this is our solar permit, right?
But isn't that the application?
It is the application, so do we want to call it the Village of Lansing Solar
Application.
Permit application?
I feel like that we had this conversation
We have.
2 months ago.
The state calls it the Unified Solar Permit, I will say, but you're not, like, to Natalie's point, though, we give you a building permit, we give you a special permit, we don't give you a solar
So
permit.
it's really the Village of Lansing Solar application.
Really, that's what it is, in my mind.
You're giving us all this information on this application so that we can then turn around, make an informed decision, and decide whether or not to issue permits.
In accordance with our code, and we will issue you either a building permit or
And or a
whatever
special
else.
permit. Yeah, or if there is some other permit, I don't know what other things you hand out, but.
Yeah.
Village of Lansing Solar application? Somebody has to tell me.
I think that's lovely
Say
myself.
leave the permit out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's confusing. And then it comes up in
Yeah, so we'll
the,
have to change it down in general requirements, yeah.
Because I think that's when I got to that chart, I said, oh, this is really the Village of Lansing. I said, permit application.
not just the application.
Yes.
I'd say 75% of the people are gonna ask me, what do you want filled out, Mike, and I hand it.
Yeah, we know that, but you know what? There'll be one
But then they're
yahoo
gonna be
that
like, wait, but I don't
decides.
have a Village of Lansing solar permit.
Exactly,
I didn't get my permit.
exactly. No, really, I
No,
would be
that's what
that person.
I'm
That
the one
was,
that keep bringing it up.
that would
so
be me.
confused about it.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I would say, in fact, somebody said, do you know how to refresh your computer the other day? And of course, you go up and that little symbol is there, but it doesn't say refresh. What does it say? Reload, I think. And it's like, would somebody just use the same words that are there? And so that when you click on it, it tells you what it is. I have a real thing about that. Because most of the time
Spinning,
it doesn't matter, but sometimes it does. And so we just don't want confusion. So I'm into
I
application.
changed it to the Village of Lansing Solar application under 5A general requirements, and I changed it to the Village of Lansing Solar
And it will
application
just-
under Appendix 2.
And it will just.
And I don't have
go
that in
through
front
the
of me,
whole
so,
thing.
but that also doesn't have to go to the trustees to get approved, we can change the name on that whenever.
That's right.
Perfect.
I'm sure they'll want to see it, but I don't think they'll make a decision based off the word permit not saying
Well, I feel
application.
much better about that.
Pat has agreed to make the changes for us.
Thank you, Pat.
Pat is the dissenting voice, it's staying permanent now.
Overruled.
They'll lock us, nobody else can.
So, yeah, if you have anything, Lisa, I can
Well, I
at
was
least
just-
I can at least double check to make sure it's all in.
Thought that I checked that, because I asked you, which have we gotten the latest, and I thought
Yes.
I went through it. Do you think I could find that one?
She sent it to us the next day, I think, didn't you?
Yes, he did.
Or the day after,
Yeah,
I think 2 days,
shortly
yeah. I was quick on
I was
it.
surprised.
No, right away.
I got on it.
And then I didn't do anything until today.
I know, that's.
Weeks, I had this flagged as important, yeah. I think I probably have some things in my inbox flagged as important for longer than 3 weeks. Like, I gotta get to this week. Yeah, maybe next. Not for here, for.
Not that important.
Other job, yeah. Important, it's all relative.
So you changed the language here in validity to match with number 12. Like, or, you know, that we're, I guess, the whole thing in writing, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, I changed that everywhere.
So they both agree?
Yes, and they
Okay.
both match up. I updated it, and
Yeah,
copied
okay.
it to the other. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought we pretty much went through that.
Yeah, we had it, I think, in B, and we wanted the same language in D. I forget exactly the letters, but
Yeah.
yes, I did update it and then copied
Okay.
it, so it's in both places.
Double check it again myself, but I thought I did. I shouldn't save the old ones.
You used to do that at your old job, though, you would take it, them all.
I did, yeah, I usually do, but yeah, I'm starting to get sloppy.
Any other changes that you know of, Lisa?
13 years of retirement, what?
Any other changes you know of?
Is that what's gonna happen to me, Lisa?
It will eventually.
Think of all the free time you're, no, Pat, any other change? I know you sent me some.
Nope, just one.
Email?
Nothing.
All right,
Operator hyphen.
anything? Yeah.
I love it, I'm excited.
Are you? I can tell.
Is-
Breathe all over your face.
It's gonna be. I'm so excited. I can hardly contain it.
Did
Yeah,
Pat
right.
catch the lack of a period?
Yes, he had, that is one of the things that
Oh,
he
well,
thought was the
there was
period.
one, there was a missing
Period
period
missing.
at the end of something.
Also,
Yeah,
I think
remember
a
that one.
hyphen,
Operator owned.
operator hyphen owned in a couple places.
And actually, for the
Maybe just one.
pagination, there's one where the header is on one page and everything else is the rest.
Once it goes into actual law code form, I'm sure it'll all,
Sometimes not, and I
Reformatted
find
anyway.
that very off-putting.
And there was one where we skipped from 10 to 12.
yeah. Okay,
So what
so
do we
then I
do
guess
with
the next step would be for us to vote whether or not we want to send this along to the trustees, and if we decide to do that, then I can write a letter to the mayor and the trustees and CC you all and attach the local law for their discussion. So if people are ready for that, I will entertain a motion to send the draft solar law we've been working on for, I don't know how long, a year at least, along to the trustees.
I move that we submit the draft of our Village of Lansing solar, just solar energy local law to the trustees with our advice that we think it's ready for their review.
Motion by Lisa,
A second?
second by Pat, all in favor? Yay, progress.
Oh, my gosh.
Now you don't sound like a liar when you promised them we'd have it to him at the next meeting.
Take out in that letter, just take out tree law, and put it in solar law.
And they are still meeting this next Monday, right, a week from today?
All I know is they canceled the January
Yeah.
meetings.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm on
Yes,
deck
you're
for
on.
February, so.
For next Monday.
Well, oddly enough, then, the next agenda item is trustee report. There was no trustee meeting. So there you go.
I can say it again if you want. Follow the sequence.
No, that was a perfect segue into it. Next item is other business.
So
Pat, Lisa, I just.
are we going to talk about where we're going next and what we're supposed to be
We can talk
working
about that,
on?
yes.
And a table of uses.
Yes, the chart of uses.
There was the chart of uses was a big one, and then also, so it's decision, right? Do we want to try to tackle more than one thing? That's a big thing.
Well,
The chart of uses, we had started to talk about it before.
the thing about the chart of uses once you start taking, so you go to the first thing, and then if you go to all the districts, you'd be surprised at how you can get, oh, well, you have to go to each of the districts to see whether in fact it's appropriate for it to be there still.
Yeah.
And usually it is, but we did introduce CMT at some
And
point.
there's a couple places that it never made it where it was
Yeah, well,
supposed to,
I have my book here.
So, but that, sir, there's the one thing, the charter uses is one thing, there is short-term rental, there's also the tree thing that we
I
wanted to
think-
tackle for residential. And then there was also a piece of the tree law for commercial that we wanted to clarify for something that we really thought was gonna be in there, but we clearly never put it in there. And I think, but we can send that along to the trustees is one thing.
Well, I think the residential part, we felt we had some issues with.
Yeah.
And so I had, way back when, before Simon was working on this and submitted it to us, had gotten a bunch of examples from other villages in New York State mostly, some pretty wealthy communities, and so I could resurrect those and send them around for some of the ideas that I tend to be a little more in favor of encroaching on people's rights. I know not everybody feels that way, but I also just think that we are so cavalier about trees, and I think we're beginning to understand finally how important they are. And part of that, spin-off of that was parking lot design and the whole heat island and everything else, which could impact us going forward with some of our parking lots, I hope, anyway, because they're just a mess. So I think the tree thing is a good place to go next, and,
But, so,
I'll
that
send
and the
around-
chart of uses, maybe we
well, the
try
chart,
to
I think
tackle
we
both
have
of
to
them?
start looking at
Yeah.
them, and whether we divide and conquer, like, we each take 5 of the categories and start saying, what do we find? I mean, has everybody looked at the chart of uses?
What's the chart use?
That's
It really is a big chart. It has, here's the things that we allow in the village, whether it's a school or a,
It's on-
healthcare, and then here's the districts and whether things are allowed in the district.
Oh,
So take a look at your code.
okay, what
and
page,
it's-
what page
it's
is it?
Let me see, it's page 145106. And it's just things like, it's called mobile home. Well, they're not called mobile homes anymore. We call them, that doesn't cover manufactured homes. And now they call them manufactured homes, just stuff like
Yeah,
that.
now you're not allowed to really restrict manufactured homes.
Right,
or mobile
because
homes
they really
anymore.
are, yeah.
And
Now they treat them
so
as single
there's
family
just stuff
residential.
like that we just haven't, I mean, this code's old, you know?
When did we say it was done? 68? No, 68? No,
This was like the early 70s.
early 70s? Oh, yeah, I forget, it was on one of the pages.
Oh,
Or about as old as me.
There was like at the very beginning, maybe here's when it was revised last, but either way, it's old, yeah. So I am fine with trying to tackle both the charter uses, that I'll think it'll take a little bit longer, but then also the second part of the tree law.
okay, so I'll resurrect those things and just send them
Yeah.
around for your reading pleasure, and see if there's anything that you think applies to our residential. But
And I'll take a look at the charter uses and. Yeah, maybe there's some good logical way to break stuff up.
Well, Lisa, remember your neighbor, the whole tree law?
yes, was that?
Because come spring, that's probably going to happen again, because there's going to be.
Yes, yeah, there's going to be other
Yeah.
people, yeah.
Well, and that was one of the things I remember we had discussed, giving the board the, discretion to waive it, and then it never made it into the code. So as it stands now, we can't, maybe we don't want to, but it would be, when we did the solar law, though, we had definitely a focus on, at the board's discretion, or I forget the exact language that we used, may waive.
For example, under the chart of uses, one of the things, the districts aren't at the top, so you don't really.
Yeah.
But PDA isn't included, and I think it should be, that some of these things are, I guess, I don't know, it isn't.
I wonder if there's special.
PDA is its own.
It's like its own thing to use.
Yeah, but wait a second, do we have special areas where we entertain the idea of a PDA versus in other areas we don't
We
even?
entertain a PDA in a you know,
Well, it's allowed
like
in all
low
districts.
residential.
It's allowed in all
Is it?
districts,
Okay.
yes.
It is allowed.
Because
That's
that
why
takes
it
on its
has
own
the
thing.
cap of 1.5 times the density of the underlying district.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can't turn like a low density residential into a 20 bow max.
Yeah,
But it's worth thinking about,
yeah.
you know, and other things like this that have come up. What was the other thing we want to tackle? Oh,
The lot line.
lot line change.
Yes.
That's easy,
That's-
that's something I can
yes.
just draft something and send it to everybody to look at.
That'd be good.
That's easy enough.
And there's a list, I think, you probably seen the list you're talking about of little things that we
We came up with, yeah.
accumulated over like months of discussing, we
Yes.
can do this, and this,
Yeah.
so I'll send that out too, and I'll send everybody out the chart of uses, so they can look it over. If you want to, you can assign somebody, each person a different district to make sure that district is.
Complete, that's what I'm
Whatever's
saying.
in there,
maybe
is
that's
in
what
the
we-
chart of uses and what's not in there, because they don't, some cases they don't jive, I don't even use the chart, I use what is listed
In the code, yeah.
in the actual code.
Yep.
But doesn't it depend on what the code says, or sometimes it might be more inclusive than what the code says, I guess not. If it's not specifically stated, like when we got into the whole assisted living thing. That, for example, is one of them.
Is that chart of uses part of the code itself, or is that like a?
Well, that's what I don't know
appendix?
quite. Or is
I
it
would
just
go
a suggested?
Code over the chart.
Well, I would
The chart is
absolutely go,
just
I'm just curious if
included
it's
for-
something that we can reference in the code, maybe as we update it and make changes, that we could, you know, reference that, so that's more of a living document, and we can go and, you know, as a, here's this new facility, you know, a cannabis dispensary, maybe we need to add that in there, and as opposed to us going through a revision and changing local law, if we can update the
By
chart of uses
resolution.
by resolution, that's much easier.
And actually, here it says uses within planned development areas should be referred to in the respective district regulations.
I'll tell you what, I'll go over it Friday, and I'll find out what's missing on each one, just to make sure that they're, what's listed in each section is on that chart. There's allowed use in each section is listed on that chart.
And then, for example, I guess probably, I forget, what is this called? What is this? This is part of additional conditions for building land use permits. It's temporary commercial activities. And it's the chart, you know, carnival, circus, seasonal, temporary outdoor sales. CMT was just totally left out of that. And I don't think that was our intention, because it's in
Probably not.
CLT.
Yeah,
So if it's in CLT and CHT.
it's in CHT,
it's
yeah,
CMT,
expanded reason.
And it
be
just
okay.
isn't there, you know, and it should be.
Yeah.
Just, that's just, yeah, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I have you,
It may-
have I given you all of this? Should I?
It may have gotten missed when they took some of the, CHT, and they converted it over where McDonald's is to CMT. It might have got missed,
I don't know.
just being changed over, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think some of the definitions are, we also should take a look at, since, like under building accessory, it does mention solar collectors, which I guess is our,
Yeah.
but it doesn't ever talk about,
Clarification of the definition, that might be better, because solar collector is kind of different.
plus it doesn't ever get into propane tanks, greenhouses, trams, remember
Oh,
trams?
yeah, yep.
Maybe we want to add those in just for the laundry list while we're at it.
If we're going and reviewing stuff, absolutely. We can add it in there.
So I have a bunch of
It
little
stands to reason that
flags
there,
here.
there's already been 2 of those here, right?
Trams, 2
Yeah,
trams.
I think there were 2, so I mean,
I don't know anything about our trams.
Yeah,
For the people that build right on the edge, overlooking the lake, and they have.
it takes them down to the railroad tracks that they're not supposed to go across to get to their dock on the other side.
Got it.
But this is
So
a,
is it more of a funicular than a tram? I
it
don't
is
know.
kind of like that, yes,
Yeah.
but they call them trams, and, yeah, there were 2 of them that,
Were they both from the same company?
yes.
I feel, yeah, there's this
They
company
were
that
a good
specializes in,
company.
yeah, they were a good
They were
company
a
to
good
work with.
company, they were very, you know, they, mostly it's just pull, you know,
One might be coming up again soon.
see?
There you go.
So it's just, we
In the
just
tram?
should put it in
No,
there.
my cousin
Oh,
has
okay.
land there that they're going to build on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now's the time if we're gonna look at it, let's go
And just do it.
even if it's a little thing, let's go and do it and think about, and if it's something that's not in there at all, versus a name change, let's add it in there if we can.
Yeah, or if, just say, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
the
let's
other.
make the decision about, yes, we purposely left it out.
Yes,
Can I suggest you do the tree law first to get it done?
yes,
Yeah.
And then
I agree.
this thing could be open-ended.
Yeah,
could
well,
take-
that's
this will
my
take a
point, is this will take longer.
Yeah.
yeah, it really will. It's not as straightforward as we think.
Anything else?
No.
Larry? Jim?
No?
Mike?
A couple things, next meeting, you should have a special permit coming in from Northeast Pediatrics on Graham Road West. They're looking to extend their parking lot.
Need it.
I'll have to go over a couple things with you. There's, when the subdivision for the mall came about and that road became dedicated to the village, there was a need for an easement on the south side of the road, that would be on the Northeast Pediatric side. And it didn't really turn into an easement for us, it turned into what I believe, and the wording is a conveyance to us, with them having an easement, an ingress and egress easement. So I just wanted to make sure, because that makes a big difference on your front yard setback for your parking, whether you're going to, you obviously can't go into the easement, but if that is also the property line, then you got to come back even farther, so they may end up having to get a variance. So it's kind of a different situation.
It's kind of,
Of course, they're going to be subject to sidewalk and tree law also, which is going to be difficult on that property. The tree law will be. Other than that, a couple other things, Natalie's, I've been going through a lot of the MS4 for stormwater. There's a couple sections in our code, well, one section, section 80, that might have to be tweaked. So it'll be something, I'm kind of, they give you a model law, and it's similar to what we have, but some of the wording is different.
It's like when we had to redo that building for, yeah.
Yep, similar to that. It won't be as many changes.
Okay.
The only other issues that I know that Jim and Pat will bring up, M&T, I'm requiring them to shield that light, and I've spoken to them about the light over at it's a flagpole.
Good.
So we're gonna discuss whether we bring the light around so it shines against the building onto the flagpole, or whether we find some other way of doing it.
You're talking about M&T or a different?
M&T and CFCU.
CFCU.
You're talking about the light
M&T.
shining
Yeah, I
in your
haven't seen the
face,
one down
the
here.
flagpole. We may have to, like I said, you can move that around. The only problem with that is it's still shining upwards. It's not dark sky compliant, so they might have to do the same thing they did for the flagpole at the
veterans thing,
collector,
yeah,
put on top,
The
so.
flagpole where?
that's the
That's a
usual
VA.
thing.
Oh, no, you said the same thing as they did in a
Remember in
flagpole.
the clinic, they had a flagpole and they wanted the light to shine up on it. We had to put
Probably
light on top,
fairly well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
so that's all I got.
And you said you talked to the bank,
Yes,
M&T?
they're gonna shield it and let me come see it.
Oh, my gosh.
That would be nice. I was just thinking about that, was I drove down the road to come here tonight.
I mean, you only gotta tell me 20, 25 times and I'll get it done.
I know. How's our friend Gary doing with Squeaky Clean?
The what?
Our friend Gary at Squeaky Clean.
Oh,
He never complied, did he? Or did
yeah,
he?
see, the facade lighting towards the.
Oh, did he
road
find,
is
it was
off
just the
permanently.
vacuum things that he's leaving
Got
out?
the two on the end, which I'm debating whether they're really irritating or not, but he went ahead and put in lighting for his parking lot,
Oh, okay.
so he could shut the facade lights out. That's what his concern was. The lights that are on the actual vacuum center, those are shining down.
Yeah, they're fine. They're not bad.
So we're trying to hit little ones here and there. If you see any more, let me know. A lot of times I'm not here at night. Tonight would be a night. I've got two things
Perfect.
I get to check, so. just
That's
let me know.
encouraging, because I think in the past you said M&T was non-communicative.
No, they got right to me and they've been, so far, they tilted it downward. And I saw it the other day and it's still not enough, so they're gonna have to put a shield on it.
Yeah.
so it reflects straight down.
Needs to have like a like a bill on a cap.
Yeah, because their first statement was, well, we have to have, by state law, we have to have so much light in an ATM.
Yeah, but we know that already, thank
That's
you.
nothing to do with
Yeah. There's plenty.
it. Got you.
You're tough.
Whatever happened with Nushin?
With
Oh,
Woo-hoo,
yeah, Nushin.
I sent 2 or 3 emails, she's never gotten back to me. I said, I don't know what her nationality is, I don't know if it has something to do with the Middle East or what it is. I know she traveled a lot, I know she went to, last time, I think she was in Argentina at one time, and then she was over in Spain. And then I know she had some roots that were near Turkey or whatnot, so I have no idea if hopefully she's okay, but I haven't heard anything from her.
Is that public hearing still open? What did we,
should we leave it open, or should we close it after a
that's what
certain
Mike and I
period
were
of
talking
time?
about, if we should close it and just have her,
She can
Reopen.
always come back and we can open up another
Redo
public
it?
hearing, yeah.
I mean, we'd have to vote to, what was she asking for at this point?
She wanted to
A
subdivide
special permit or a
that.
subdivision now?
She needed to build a house on there, but it was the unique natural area,
Oh,
and
that's,
she needed to get a botanist in there.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted the subdivision though, because I thought
We
we were talking about.
subdivided it.
Subdivided.
Okay, oh, that's what it was, okay, gotcha.
She wants to build a house in
Yes.
the one parcel, but it's in the unique natural area, it's in steep slope area.
and one was is that the one that was, the entrance was gonna be on SD?
It's on SC.
It's on
Yeah, and that
yeah.
was now, but that was resolved, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's been a long time.
Yeah, it might be worth
I think-
to close it.
Yeah, I mean, take a look, if we can and/or should close it at the next meeting, just put it on the agenda, we can close it.
She has to do the flora and fauna, and then she also has to have a tree survey done there.
Okay, so what's the downside of closing it?
You'd have to reapply.
Extra step for her.
I have to re-notify her, but open it back up, I guess.
Well, what is she applying? Is she applying for a special permit? Building permit? Like what permit? is
It
she
would have to be a
applying for?
special permit because it's in a building permit,
Yeah,
obviously.
so
because
she would
it's a-
have, I mean, once you close the public hearing, you have to vote on it. You would obviously vote to deny. And then she would have to reapply.
You know, give her a certain more amount of time, and I'll just keep trying to get hold of her, I mean,
You know, what's the fee for
I
applying?
was just gonna say, how costly is it in terms of money?
I can't remember, it was only $300 or $400.
Let's see if you can get a hold of her over the next couple of weeks.
Do you think she's,
But even in, with,
do you think she's getting your messages? Because, you know, is she a Cornell person? Does she have a Cornell email or no?
Yes.
Because, you know, I've had issues many times of not receiving your messages until like 3 days later, or the last couple times, remember, Pat, when they were going to the,
One you got.
they were going to my junk folder, and I'm like, what's going on? And then Pat didn't get it at all, right?
That's
That just
happened to
happens-
us,
that
that
happens to
happens
me too.
periodically.
It's just the
with
village
stuff.
emails.
It
It happens
is,
with John Courtney and Mike.
yes,
but I mean-
it has to do with the village.
So if they aren't going to her inbox, that's all I'm saying, maybe they're going to her, and if she's a faculty member, they don't check their junk mail.
Send me a message and I can forward it to
I'll
her.
draft her a
You
letter.
must have emailed her before, though.
Yeah.
She's gotten it.
But you know, the same thing, though, is when I would get stuff from Mike, and then all of a sudden, he'd say, so, you know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, well,
He sent
when
me
did you?
snippet emails too.
Exactly, so.
Sometimes I would get, I wouldn't get his email when he'd send the minutes out, and then I'd know he'd sent them, because Pat and Lisa would reply, and
And you'd like to be
yeah, oh,
yeah.
And not the original.
It's the village, it's, yeah.
And I thought it was just me, so I'm glad it's happening to everybody else.
So the lesson is, everybody has to reply to everything, so everybody knows that
I can do a reply, and I'll say, I'm responding first.
Yes.
Nothing else? So,
Nothing, so it's quiet.
I will.
Winter.
I know, I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:30 PM.
Oh my gosh, already?
Yeah.
Oh, I should just let you know that in February, I'm probably gonna miss the last meeting.
Okay.
For what it's worth.
I'll be here.
Adjourn.
What's that?
I move we adjourn.
Pat. I'll second.
Motion by Pat, second by Jim, all in favor? Okay, thanks. Did you, oh, you can stop.
Done?
Yeah. Oops, well, that was, I was like, what the heck?
Oh my gosh, it was.